around me who have made like my trajectory possible.
The marriage about yourself, you all get feeling.
Because you don't know nothing.
Hey, it's Melissa.
Welcome to Leadership Live, Season 5.
We identify as our thoughts. We are not, there's this book that I read, Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, that I always recommend that book to everybody. And he, talks about us being the observer of our thoughts. We're not the person thinking it. We are the observer. So then you take a step back, like, where are these thoughts coming from? Why am I so quick to think that about myself? Where did this belief come from? And do I believe that I'm capable of something different? Because if you don't believe, that's what I started asking clients, in our initial call. I'll ask them, do you believe that you can be a fit person? And some of them say yes, some of them say no. And then I know from there, because that's another thing, I want to meet you where you are. Because right. If you're, if you haven't worked out in years, of course, you're going to lose weight if you work out 5 days a week. But is that realistic for you to keep up? And then if it's so far out of your comfort zone, what is that voice telling you? Because the voice is really there to protect you and to keep you in your comfort zone. It really comes out when you're trying to think to do something different. No, girl, that's where, imposter syndrome. That's another one. No, that's not you. You're not even worthy. You're not capable. And when you get all wrapped up in that and believing that, then that's you. That is not, you couldn't be any further from the truth. You hear all these celebrities talk about imposter syndrome and you're like, what? But you're so fabulous, but that you have to be in control. Observe your thoughts. Where's that coming from? Check it. No, it's not right. And then counter it with a thought that is realistic and positive.
Mm-hmm. So that's another type of discipline. So we talk about the discipline of doing the things, right? Right. Discipline of I'm going to drink water, like regularly all the time. I'm going to drink water. I'm going to try to eliminate so many empty calories. I'm going to do that. That's a discipline thing. I'm going to work out. Yep, I'm going to. I'm going to set it on my calendar or just decide I'm going to have the time. I'm going to work out thoroughly. But this idea of mental discipline is something I think that we oftentimes overlook, and it can be our biggest barrier to reaching the goals that we have for ourselves.
Yes, definitely. I think my experience in early childhood has helped with that, because I remember, in one of our classes, we were talking about discipline versus punishment. And a lot of people use those terms interchangeably, but they're two completely different things. And discipline has a negative connotation to it. But discipline, if you look up the definition, is education, right? And it's teaching. So, if you are teaching yourself, or even with children, when you discipline a child, sometimes you're getting them to do things that they don't want to do. You want them to have a structured routine. Okay, now it's time for you to lay down and say, I don't want to take a nap. Okay, whatever. Lay down and shut up. I can say that now. I didn't say that before. Lay down. You're going to be sleepy later, right? I know what's good for you. I know that you don't want to do this right now, but this is what you need to do. And we don't treat ourselves that way. If anything, we're abusive. We punish ourselves. We do not we have self-punishment. Girl, that just hit me. We have self-punishment. We don't have self-discipline.
That is so good. That is so good.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yes, write that down. But it's true, and we punish ourselves all the time, and because we're constantly beating ourselves down, it's hard to get back up.
Right, exactly. And that's another thing too. I teach women how to trust themselves, because if you for years or months or weeks or however long it is have been saying, I'm gonna get up in the morning and work out, and then you don't. I'm gonna meal prep all next week, and then you don't. Well, then you don't trust yourself anymore. I mean, I wouldn't trust anybody that kept saying they were going to do this thing and kept saying they were going to show up and then they never did. I wouldn't want to really deal with them anymore. And even when you hear that voice, like, okay, girl, we gonna get this, we gonna get in shape this time. It's real. It's like, yeah, whatever, okay, So it's a lot.
Wait. So with that self-punishment, we also start stripping ourselves of our trust of ourselves.
Yes.
You can't even trust you. Oh, that is so good. I don't trust you because you've proven time and time again that you're not going to do what you say you're going to do.
So why am I going to start now?
I don't trust you. You said that. I've said that to people. Thank you. Thank you for saying that you're sorry. But, and I say this to my children. I also say it to my husband, but I am Missouri, honey. You got to show me. I am the show me state. Call me Missouri. Show me. I don't want to hear another thing you have to say until you show me. And I think that is self. I don't want to hear you say another thing about you going to do this and that and that and this. You better show me.
Show me
that you really want it.
And then it's like, even with the showing, I don't want to look for this big grand thing. That's another thing. People think they got to dive in head first to something. No, show me by, if you say you're going to get up on Tuesday morning, get up on Tuesday morning. And then we're just going to leave it there. Good job. All right, cool. Because people say from now on, I'm going to get up every single morning. And you're not going to stick to that. Let's just, we're going to take baby steps, almost like the trifling baby daddy that keeps saying that he's going to show up for the kids and he's going to do it. Listen, we're going to start with a trip to the park. Okay. You're going to, wow, you actually showed up this time. Okay, cool. We're going to start. The park is right across the street. We're going to be there for 20 minutes. And then versus, I'm going to pick my child up and take them to Disney World. No, you're not. Let's just start with the park.
2, let's go to the park. I'm not.
Baby steps.
No, you're not.
Baby steps. Yeah.
But it's the same idea of, I'm going to do it January 1st. I'm going to do it Monday.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to do it in the morning. It's this monumental. Why do we have to do things so big from the start?
You don't, right? Because that's the thing. It's all the little things that's going to get you the results.
Right.
It's all the little things. And when I tell people when they're like, okay, what should I do? I give all the same advice to everybody because it's true. Protein and fiber, okay? Drink your water, get at least 7,000 steps in a day. That's it. Make sure you get your sleep. And they're looking at me like, what else you got? And I'm like, there's not any, that's it. Just do that every day and see what will happen.
And I love that it's so simplistic. Everybody's fighting that. I don't want simple. I want the thing.
Okay.
Don't give me that. What did Lauryn Hill say? It can all be so simple, but you'd rather make it hard. But you rather make it hard.
You'd rather make it hard.
She wrote a whole song about it.
Oh
go. What is it? X Factor, I think. Yes, go listen to it. Pull it up.
That's an assignment that I give people sometimes, and I do it myself, is to pick any love song that you know all the words to and sing it to yourself in the mirror.
Hello, I am Dr. Renita L. Webb.
We're ready to not only be poured into, but to also pour out today. Yeah. Our best, our very best, to be on time. Hello, somebody can say on time.
You had a moment where you had something that was given to you that you thought was your gift, and you found out it was for everybody.
And I remember Sister Vanessa went with her friends to Baltimore to see the wretch. At that time, I didn't know what the wretch was. I didn't know what wretch meant, but I knew she shouldn't have been there.
To learn how to have those feelings and to crank up those emotions within you to say, oh, that really wasn't right.
I sit better in my car than I do in my shower, but that let me tell you. I only sit better in my car when it's just me in the car. Unless my jam comes on, then I don't care who's in the car. We're going to take my freedom.
That's not a good one.
It's not, but it has good points in it.
Right. Yeah, but sometimes that's what it is. I mean, sometimes these love songs, it doesn't have to be a ooh, lovey-dovey, I love you. Sometimes it's like, why are you making this so hard?
But actually,
loving
you know
you,
what?
loving you is like a battle, and we both end up with
End
scars.
up with scars. I'm telling you, X Factor might be a bash to the ex, but it's a self-love. It's a self-love song.
Yes, it is. It
She said,
is.
care
It
for me,
is.
care for me. Why don't you care for me?
Right.
Come on, it's a love of self. That may have been the first self-care anthem.
Right.
I'm not going to deal with your mess because I love me.
I love me.
I love me.
me.
Thank you, Sister Lauren.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you for the entire miseducation of Lauryn Hill, because we could take the whole album,
the whole
and
thing,
bring it to mind
with the
Top to bottom.
intros. Right.
Hello, no skips,
Oh, none
whatsoever.
Matter of fact, I'm
Not
gonna run
a-
a couple of these back. I'm gonna run some of them back.
My kid upstairs is clearly sick of Lauryn Hill. I made her study the Fugees and Lauryn Hill. I did, but it's true. Because if we take it to mindset, this is truly, we have been living the miseducation of ourselves.
Oh my gosh.
Let me make this relevant so y'all don't just think
I'm writing this down. I'm writing this down.
My Lauryn Hill fan self, and I am in the fandom. I'm gonna still see her live one day. I love me some Lauryn Hill, and anybody who got something negative to say about her,
I don't like that. I don't like that. Oh, she don't never show up for her shows. You don't know her life. You don't know her life.
Right?
Go listen to the miseducation and get yourself together.
Get educated.
Right.
So this is a Lauryn Hill stan account. What you will not do is bring negativity about her to my comments. If you do, you may get blocked.
Blocked. Period.
Smash up. But we have to think about that. Like she went on this whole journey about the miseducation of Lauryn Hill because people had her messed up. They had her messed up, and that wasn't even a term when that album came out. But they had her messed up. They thought they knew who she was, but they had no idea. And so I think that we have to think about in our mindset that not only do people on the outside think they know who we are, but they really have no idea. But we thought we knew who we were, and we have no idea.
We do not know.
We do not know, and we shortchange ourselves constantly in our mind, which stops us from doing the things we need to do outside of our mind effectively in the real world.
Yes.
If we checked ourselves about ourselves and thought about the fact that we were created on purpose for a purpose. And because of that, let's go back to whatever or whoever you believe is your creator. I know who I believe is mine, and that entity is perfect. So why would I ever think that I was a mistake? Why would I ever think that there was something so negative in me that it could not be repaired? The negative thing could not be fixed. And that there were not other people who I truly believe that every person on earth is meant to be intersected with other beings. Why would I not think that my people were not created?
Right.
I wholeheartedly believe that there is an entire tribe of people that part of their purpose of creation was to be a part of my purpose in creation.
Yes. I saw something, it was like, after great, it took, I forgot what the number was, but several thousand people to exist just for you to exist.
Absolutely. Not only did they exist, they survived, and some of them thrived. Just so that means that whoever that first person was lived for you.
But you know what, though? What you just said that really resonated with me. Created on purpose for a purpose. Every single person was created on purpose for a purpose. And I think, and that's another thing too. I tie a lot of spirituality into conversations that I have with my clients. I'm not necessarily a religious person per se, but us all being spiritual beings, you cannot ignore that part of it. But if we are going to say that we were created on purpose for a purpose, and then we are living on autopilots, that's another issue that we're having. That's another reason why we're so stagnant, or we feel like we're failing, or whatever, because when there's no purpose to your life, because you just you get up, you go to work, take the kids to school, you come home, and you're a robot. What's the purpose? When you have checked out mentally, where you open up a bag of chips and then the next thing you know, that bag is empty, You checked out. You were somewhere else. Half the time we're somewhere else. Guess where we are? In our minds with that mean voice. That's where we are all the time.
And we got to get out of there. And what I remember, I think about, I have a daughter who she's doing great things and she is very purposed in life. But honey, when she is moving from place to place, she'll get there when she gets there. And one of the things we say to her is that you need to walk with purpose, honey. Walk like you got a purpose. And it's that idea of meandering through life so that there is no sense of urgency to do anything because there is nothing to do.
Nothing to do.
There's nothing to do.
But again, that's the voice telling you there's nothing to do because it's there to keep you safe in your comfort zone. No, just keep doing what you're doing. You're good. That's fine. You don't need to do anything else. Walk with a purpose. Walk like my husband teases me all the time because I have no sense of direction at all. And he's like, you just walk so confidently in the wrong direction. I'll find my way eventually.
I'll get there. I'll get there. I talk about people, they have unmerited confidence. Like no. Unmerited confidence.
I need you to speak a little softer next time. Right.
But for some people it serves them well, but a lot of times that can be the things that get you in the most trouble. But sometimes you're walking in that confidence for multitudes of reasons, because sometimes it's ignorance, like I am straight ignorant, but I believe I'm correct. Sometimes it's ego. Sometimes it's simply because we refuse to tap into those other people around us who were purposed to help us with our direction.
Right. Yes. And that part too. And that's, going back to with my cancer diagnosis and how my husband and I are usually very private people. And that's something that I've had to work on, is asking for help. And a lot of times I don't even have to ask. People are offering to help me. And I just say, no, thank you. I'm just going to suffer on my own. I'll get lost for a few days, but I'll find my way eventually. Thank you. Have a good day. Good. But, and it's just allowing, it's vulnerability. It's being comfortable enough to feel vulnerable in a place that you consider safe with people around you who will guide you in the right direction.
Right. But that's also, it goes back to choosing who is around you on purpose too.
Oh,
choosing
what?
And thinking about your village on purpose, and being willing and strong enough to remove people from your village who are now off purpose.
Mm-hmm. That's hard.
Like,
that's
baby,
hard.
I love you. And it doesn't, and I think that some people think it has to be such a hard hit. No, it does not. You do not have to scream and holler these people away.
No.
Sometimes it's just, you're out of the group chat.
You're making yourself less available.
Hello. And it just doesn't have to be ugly, but it's the idea of something happened, either you didn't support me, you're no longer on purpose, whatever, and limiting access without having to be nasty about it. Yeah. And still loving people through it, forgiving people through it. It's this, we were talking about this weekend. Somebody was talking about, I forgive you, but it doesn't mean that I give you full access anymore.
Yes. Absolutely.
Actions dictate access.
Yes.
And maybe your actions have shown me that you no longer need to have access to this part of my life.
And when you are in a place of growth, ascension, whether it be in fitness or professionally or academically, whatever the case may be, watching how other people respond to that. If you have something, oh, well, since you started this, you done got brand new, or must be nice, or I can't talk to you anymore, or whatever, these little snide comments, then let that be, just to be aware of that. And it's not that they're ugly, bad people or anything like that. It's just, if we're talking about frequencies and what we attract and where you're going, that's that you've changed the radio station. You went from 100.3 to 100.5. So it's a little staticky. We're not communicating the way that we used to. And that's okay. That's another issue a lot of my clients have, is boundaries. They don't know how to set consistent boundaries with friends, with family. I had one client I was working with, and her biggest issue was when her girlfriends would call her and invite her to brunch. She's like, I'm gonna be real with you. If I get an invitation to brunch, I'm going to brunch. And so I asked her, have you told listen, I'm not gonna lie, I can't go to brunch and not drink a mimosa. I cannot. Like, what? Brunch and water? No, I'm gonna have a Bloody Mary or something.
Why do they do that?
But right. No, I'm not going there. But, and I asked her, what conversations have you had with your friends around you wanting to change your health? Oh, well, we haven't really had real conversations. I told them, that I hired you and da da da. And they just kind of laughed off like, okay, oh girl, whatever, But I'm like, have the conversation with them, be clear about it, let them know, please do not invite me to brunch. I will let you know when I'm available to come or whatever. So she has the conversation with them. I asked how it went. They said, girl, we gonna invite you to brunch and you gonna show up because that's what we do.
I don't know about you, but I love people. People are some of my favorite folks. But sometimes people get on my very last nerve. And that's why the reminder that people be peopling is available for you in t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts. Go to www.drrenitaweb.com. Click Use Your Words up in the right-hand corner and get yours today.
Ladies, no ma'ams. No ma'ams. No ma'ams. Or y'all brunch better be at somewhere real healthy.
Right. Yeah. Or well, you know what? I know that you're on this fitness journey. We would love to have your company. We'll be more mindful about, they have these options. Like you said, these other, healthier options, or they're going to do, they have really nice virgin drinks that you can have or whatever, but yeah, just watch who you're around, be intentional, just exactly what you said about that. And, that's something that I learned. I'm very much an introvert. I'm an extroverted introvert. And so the idea of going out and making new friends is something that I feel uncomfortable with, but I know that that's what I need to do to get to the next level where I want to be. So they say, who you're a reflection of the 5 people you spend the most time with. What are the people around me doing? I want to do those things. It's not good to be the smartest person in the room all the time. Like, I need to learn from other people.
No, I need somebody around me who knows something more about something I don't know. I need that.
Yes.
Because just like with my fitness journey, I don't want to be stagnant there. I also don't want to be stagnant in my knowledge about life.
Yes.
Because then I won't even fully understand even more about what I know and what I can bring to the table, because I didn't know that what I have can be brought to a new table. New table, new destination me.
Right.
New destination me. And I mean, you discover so much more about yourself when you discover new things.
You do.
Teach me.
And then it's like you have to get to the point where you're comfortable with that again, because it's stepping out of your comfort zone, is doing these things that you wouldn't normally do. But then, like you said, like, I love it. I appreciate it when I'm in a place with new people, having new conversations there. Like the book I was telling you about, like that, a lot of people don't want to hear about that, And so when I'm actually in a conversation with somebody who appreciates that, and then they're able to ask, oh, you read that book? Well, have you heard of such and such? And that's where they got that from. And I'm like, what? Mind is blown. Like, I crave it. I love it. You just have to do something one time to see that you can do it. And then from there, I mean, it's very empowering. It's very empowering when you get out of your own way. What were you thinking? When you're aware of your thoughts, it is very telling, and you can do so much with that.
Absolutely. And oh gosh, it's this whole idea of allowing leaders hear me and hear me well. Not being the smartest person in the room does not make you any less of a leader. Leaders, hear me and hear me well. Having to start over doesn't make you any less of a leader. Leaders, Hear me and hear me well. Being around
that.
other leaders does not make you less of a leader. Surround yourself with people who are going to help you upgrade. Surround yourself with people who are going to help you go to a next level. That means you can't stay at the level where you are, and you got to get out of your comfort zone. Your growth is beyond your comfort zone. When you are too comfortable, that means that you are becoming complacent and becoming stagnant, and you're going to become obsolete. You cannot stay there. You cannot stay there. You have got to be willing to think a new thought. Yes, routines are great. Yes, consistency is great. But eventually, your body will even get used to you doing the same thing. And so you have to shock it with something
new. You got to be prepared to switch it up.
She does it to us on Fridays. Sometimes we'll have the same items to do, but instead of 30 seconds, it becomes 40 seconds. And then she'll fool around and make it 45. And my body said, what are you doing here? But it also said, well, maybe I'm going to release some things because you've now shocked me. You want your people to do new things. You want your fellowship to do new things, or to grow or help make things become more amazing. Then there has to be a new thing. It has to be some type of shock to the system, and not something that's so left that it changes everything. Like it all at once. It doesn't have to be that, but sometimes things do need to explode. Sometimes they do. Yeah. It doesn't have to be that, but there has to be some kind of shift.
It has to be a change. And, you know, I had to correct myself. I was recording a video the other day, and, you know, it's like you say, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to stay where you are. But that's actually not true. If you keep doing what you're doing, it's going to get worse. Everything's going to get worse if you keep doing what you're doing. It's not a matter of, well, I need to lose 50 pounds. Forget it. I'm just going to stay here. I mean, unless you're able to maintain that 50 pounds, but I promise you, you will continue to gain over time. It will get worse. You're going to put on more weight. You're going to feel it in your joints. Then you're going to move around less because it's not as comfortable. Then you're going to get invited to places. And then, well, it depends. Is there going to be a place to sit? How much walking is there? How long are we going to be there? I mean, then what you've done at that point in time is created a prison for yourself. You then live in a prison.
So we talk about doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result being insanity. But doing the same thing over and over again, expecting to reach your goal, is not only going to keep you away from your goal, but it's going to pull you further from your goal. Good gracious of life. That was a good one. That was a goodie there. That was a good. Okay.
Then see, I'm thankful for this because, like I said, I mean, I'm in my head, like I'm saying stuff like, oh, I need to write that down and save that for later.
But the thing is, that's the point of conversation and interaction with other people. Like, it's going to shift your mindset. It's going to give you a new thought. It's going to give you a new thing.
Yes.
And y'all, I'm telling y'all, we could be here for the next 92 years, which is why we always have to cut ourselves off.
That's why I was like, tell me how much time I have, because I will go ahead and write this script because
we could be here forever, but and I will never let these conversations be scripted, y'all. Just so we know, they will never be, because I need them to go wherever they go, because I believe that too is on purpose. But you had one thing to leave people today as they're thinking about the way they're thinking and wanting to achieve goals, namely a fitness goal. What would be the one thing you would leave them with today?
Oh God, one. I'm just gonna go with my go-to phrase, and that is, you choose how you age. And the condition that you're in currently is based on the decisions that you made in the past. So what decisions that you're making now are going to impact what your future looks like. And like I said, I just talked a couple minutes ago about, where you gain the weight, then you start feeling achy joints, and then you're moving less. And I say that, I just rolls off the tongue because that's happened to a lot of people that I know personally. And, and I've seen them create this prison for themselves, and having conversations with older adults. And they don't want to be a burden to their children. They want to be around to enjoy their grandchildren. They don't want their independence taken away from them. All the people who are older, who are experiencing these things, I'll say most of them it's because of choices that they've made. Choices to stay stagnant, to not move their bodies, to go off of instant gratification versus self-discipline. Yeah, I know I should have a salad, but I really want this burger instead, so I'm going to have that. Yeah, I know I need to get up, but I'm going to choose to push this snooze button another time. And when we talk about those choices and those little things, that's how they add up and that's how they manifest. So, you know, when we're young, we take all those things for granted, but we don't realize, like I said, the choices that we're making now are going to shape our lifestyle, our reality for the future. So we choose how you age. Be mindful about what choices you're making, and practice self-discipline throughout the day. You don't have to do it all day, every day, but you know, just play around with it. Like, dang, I want a Mountain Dew. Okay, well, instead, I'm gonna get some lemonade. That's what I'm gonna have instead. You know,
It's the little things. It's the
it's the
little things.
and they all add up to the big things.
Yes. Well, Victoria, if they want to find you and follow you, make you their workout buddy, how can they find you?
So first thing, social media is a great place to start. On Facebook is Workout Buddy, BUDDIE. Instagram, it's workout_buddy, BUDDIE. I do have a website. It is workoutbuddy.net, but I'm still doing some work on that. The best way to get in touch with me is to go on social media, send me a private message, or you can send me an email, workoutbuddy, the number 4, YOU @gmail.com. And so, like I said, just send me a message. Also, if you go to my business pages, I have a link in my bio where you can click and book a call with me. The call is free. It's an opportunity for us to talk about what your goals are and what help from me would look like in helping you reach your goals, not only reach them, but to sustain them. And I'm trying to think any other things, any other ways. Those are the best ways to reach me. So please, I'm very easy to talk to. I understand that making the decision to reach out for me is a big deal. So I never want to overlook that. So just please, I'm on YouTube, but I'm not even going to bother to do that because I have like 2 followers and I don't even remember what my name is on here. So
Go ahead and find her on YouTube, y'all. Workout
Buddy, BUDDIE is better with a buddy.
Hello. A lot of things are better with buddies. Hello. Victoria, thank you. Thank you,
Dr.
so
Renita.
much.
And and when we talk about, and you're one of those people, I stepped out of my comfort zone. When I stepped out of my comfort zone, that's when I met you. And I'm so thankful for that. And that and having you in my life is confirmation that I need to keep doing that.
Well, praise the Lord. I am so glad that I can be a signal and a sign that there are great things coming.
You absolutely are. Absolutely.
Well, I love you so much, and I'm so grateful for you in every way. And I'm also grateful to every person who has joined us on this journey to think about what we're thinking and how we use that thinking to reach goals. So I love you all. See you all next time with a new friend, a new buddy. I love you. And make sure you keep your leadership all the way live. Bye, guys.